This kind of moment is really strategic. If you want your readers to be endeared to a character that maybe isn't so likable, have them do something like this early on in the story. It shows us that, oh, okay, there's more to the Grinch than we think. Hey, it's Megan. Welcome back to On Writing. If you're new here, I'm a professional writer and writing coach. Today we are talking about writing in one of the most beloved Christmas movies, How the Grinch Stole Christmas. This is of course based on the book by Dr. Suess, who's known for his whimsical, fun, rhyming style. We're gonna look at the 2000 version of this film and see what writing tips we can glean from it. So let's start.
Way up in the mountains, in the high range of Pontoos, lay the small town of Whoville, the home of the Whos. Ask any Who, and they'll have this to say: there is no place like Whoville around Christmas Day. Every window was flocked, every lamppost was dressed, and the Whoville band marched in their Christmassy best.
So in this introduction, we get that classic Dr. Seuss style poetry, giving us the setting, where we are, and introducing us to the Whos in Whoville who love Christmas. It's always interesting to me when you can sort of just set up a fantastical world in so few lines. It's such a succinct introduction to this place, but we totally buy it and we totally get it because it's simple. That's all we need to know. There's a place called Whoville and they're obsessed with Christmas there. That's all we need to know, so.
Oh, hello, Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas, Fred. Excuse me. Lou. Cindy Lou, honey?
Dad?
Yeah?
Doesn't this seem like a bit much?
This is what Christmas is all about. Can't you feel it?
Merry Christmas! Thank you for dropping by, people. Wait a second!
Editing style, I forgot how frantic it is.
And for the next 5 minutes only, 99% off!
So in the beginning, we got a little bit of telling with the voiceover narration, sort of setting the scene and telling us where we were. Now we're getting more of the showing. So we heard that the Whos in Whoville love Christmas. Now we're seeing it and what it looks like. And it's very materialistic. There's a lot of money being thrown at the vendors and everyone's grabbing their presents. And we get Cindy Lou Who being the only one who questions it. She says, "Isn't this a bit much?" And that's a little bit of the introduction to the theme of the story. So I talk about this in my review of It's a Wonderful Life, but oftentimes in stories, you want a secondary character to state your theme early on in the story. So Cindy Lou Who isn't necessarily stating the theme overtly here, but she is hinting at it when she says, "Isn't this a bit much?" She's questioning whether this is what Christmas is all about. She's going to be the character that states the theme that we can then expect the story to follow.
Yes, every Who down in Whoville liked Christmas a lot. But the Grinch, who lived just north of Whoville, did not.
Hi, girls! All the good mistletoes at the top! Hey, Drew! I'll race you!
So we get more telling there. The Grinch did not like Christmas. Oh, don't jump off the mountain. Max! He's so cute. Here we get an introduction to our main character, the Grinch. How do we know he's the main character? What if Cindy Lou Who was the main character? Well, he's the one that changes the most throughout the story, so we can say that he is our main character. He's the one who has the biggest lesson to learn. What I always like about these kinds of stories is that we don't actually learn anything about the Grinch from him at the start. We learn about him through how other people react to him and what they say. So for all we know, he could be perfectly fine, but people are afraid of him. Those kids don't even want to walk up to his front door. They get really nervous, and so that shows us that this guy is pretty scary. So this is kind of funny. It actually reminds me of Save the Cat, which is a book I talk about a lot. It's a great resource if you're looking for how to outline your novel scene by scene. But the whole idea behind the phrase save the cat is that if you want your readers to empathize with your main character, have them save a cat in the early part of your novel. Have them do something that's endearing early on. And so in this, we kind of get that a little bit with Max. So the Grinch is scary, but he has this cute fluffy dog named Max, and so that kind of endears us to him. Like if a cute, sweet dog like Max likes the Grinch, maybe maybe there's something likable about him. So I think it's interesting that that was included.
The Grinch hated Christmas, the whole Christmas season.
Talk for the day. Flatfoot.
Now please, don't ask why. No one quite knows the reason.
Hey, kids, here's a present for you. Be sure to run real fast with it now. Come on, double time. Let's go.
It could be that his head wasn't screwed on just right. Could be, perhaps, that his shoes were too tight. But I think that the most
he wearing
likely
shoes?
reason of all
Is it?
may have been that his heart was 2 sizes too small.
Just like how Cindy Lou gave us a hint at the theme with her very first line, we're getting a hint at the Grinch's character development in this line, where the narrator says, perhaps it was just that his heart was a few sizes too small. And that's a little bit of foreshadowing at what's to come, but we don't know it yet, technically, because it's still the early part of the story. Good setup.
Boy, nothing beats Christmas, right?
I guess.
Yes.
Well, it's just I look around at you and Mom and everyone getting all kabobbled. Doesn't it seem superfluous?
Superfluous! Cindy Lou, are you a reader?
What happened to you? It was the Grinch!
What do you want? I mean, Grinch? Oh, no.
Oh, so cute. Cindy Lou is so cute. Oh my gosh. So here we kind of have that initial scene repeated, which I think is interesting. They're just very similar scenes. We see Cindy Lou in the store with her dad with the presents saying, is this really necessary? And then we see her brother on the mountain with the Grinch, everyone's afraid. Then we see them with the presents in the street. Is this really necessary? And then her brother again being like, the Grinch. So I find that repetition kind of interesting. Maybe it could have been done in a more succinct way, but I don't know.
I don't need to remind you that this Christmas marks the 1,000th jubilation.
Whoville's most important celebration.
And the book of Who says very clearly,
Just carries that around.
every size of Who we can measure knows that jubilation is a time we must treasure. Now, Lou, please tell me that your boys were not up on Mount Crumpet provoking the one creature within 1 billion kilometers of here who hates Christmas.
But it was the Grinch.
What I think is interesting about this scene is it gives us more exposition on what the town is like. We see that there's very much an in-group mentality versus an out-group mentality. So meaning if you're a Who, you follow the book of Who. Like you follow our rules, and if you don't, you are literally excommunicated off to the mountain. There's a lot of pressure to conform, and that could play into why everyone gets so kerbobbled around Christmas and why Cindy Lou asking questions is going to start to shake things up. But it's a great storytelling technique because you're starting the story when the status quo is being questioned, and that's right when you want to start your story. All right.
But Dad, I just don't understand something. Why won't anyone talk about the Grinch?
You kids and the Grinch. You see, Cindy, the Grinch is a who, well, is actually not a who. He's more of a...
A what?
Exactly, honey. And he's a what who doesn't like Christmas. Take a look at his mailbox, sweetie. Not a single Christmas
Why does he have a
card, in
mailbox?
or out.
Never thought about this before, but this movie definitely has a theme of prejudice, right? The Grinch is different than everyone else, and so he is not welcome in town.
It'll take them years to sort this out. This is his, now it's yours, and this is hers, now it's his. And for the rest of you, jury duty, jury duty, jury duty, blackmail, pink slip, chain letter, embezzlement, jury duty.
What we get throughout these scenes is more development of the Grinch's character and Cindy Lou as well. We see him being very mischievous. He's gone down into Whoville. He's mixing up all the mail. And that confirms our expectations of his character and why the Whos might be so afraid of him, because he is rather mischievous and he does like to cause trouble. So we've sort of seen it from other people's point of view, and now we're seeing it actually unfold with the Grinch himself.
Bleeding hearts of the world unite! Give me that! Don't you know you're not supposed to take things that don't belong to you? What's the matter with you? You some kind of wild animal? Huh? Let's go.
Thanks for saving me.
Saving you? Is that what you think I was doing? Wrong-o. I merely noticed that you were improperly packaged, my dear.
So this is funny because we talked about the save the cat moment that stories can have, and we actually get a literal save the cat moment when the Grinch literally saves Cindy Lou Who. So again, this kind of moment is really strategic. If you want your readers to be endeared to a character that maybe isn't so likable, have them do something like this early on in the story. It shows us that, oh, okay, there's more to the Grinch than we think. He's not all bad if he's willing to save Cindy Lou's life. And even the Grinch can't really come to terms with it. He's like, saving you? That's not what I was doing. And that's great because it gives us the before of the Grinch, and then we will be able to see how he develops as the story goes on. Skipping ahead.
And we raised him like any other Who child with a deep love of Christmas.
Now, class, is everyone almost finished?
And if the truth be told, he liked Martha. Martha was my girlfriend.
You know, Christmas is my favorite time of year. I just love the colors. The red and the green.
Did I have a crush on the Grinch?
Didn't I just say there were 8?
Well, of course not.
I didn't ask you that.
Oh, right.
We get the Grinch's backstory, and so this is always great to include if you have a character who's a little grinchy, a little bit unlikable. Showing why they are the way they are can help your readers empathize with them more. You never really want a villain to just be bad because they're just bad. It's always more interesting when your villain is bad for a reason, because there's always a reason why we do what we do. Here, what I think is interesting is there is a bit of nature versus nurture going on with the Grinch. Like, he was kind of mischievous even as a baby. We see him kick the other baby out of the way as he's floating down into Whoville. We see him bite the head off of Santa kind of maliciously. But then we also see that he likes Martha May and he's willing to go to great lengths to make her this elaborate gift. So it's a little bit like, what's gonna win out? How he is inherently or how he was raised? Because as they say, we raised him like any other Who. It's so homemade and...
Merry Christmas, Martha May.
Look how cute it is.
Why do you have a bag on your head?
Probably because he's embarrassed by that idiot or his gift.
Mr. Grinch.
Get more of that theme of prejudice coming in.
Look at that hack job.
Aww, Martha doesn't laugh. This part always made me sad. He destroys it.
Great! I hate Christmas!
The anger, the fury,
The muscles.
He was 8, Martha. So this was the turning point of the Grinch's childhood where everything changed for him and he sort of became the Grinch that everyone knows today. He's made fun of repeatedly and eventually it comes to a head where he's really embarrassed and he decides to leave Whoville and go up to Mount Crumpet. But it gives us a sense of how we can empathize with him. Like, oh, maybe we can understand a little bit more of why he's like this because we've seen what's happened to him. Though I will say, as an adult, it holds a little less weight for me than it did when I was a kid. When I was a kid, I was like, I totally understand it. He's so justified. And now as an adult, I'm kind of like, really? Just that one thing happened and then that one thing? All right.
But the book does say that Cheermeister is the one who deserves a back slap or a toast. And it goes to the soul at Christmas who needs it most. And I believe that soul is the Grinch. And if you're the Who's I hope you are, you will too.
She's right.
You people want to waste a perfectly good nomination. Why, it's up to you. But I am telling you, the Grinch will never come down.
and when he doesn't, the mayor will wear the crown.
Well, more or less.
I like how they incorporate some of the rhymes into the dialogue as well. He's never coming down, and then the mayor will wear the crown. That's fun. So Cindy Lou is a little disturber of the piece. She is just so adamant about understanding the Grinch more. And so we see her nominate him here. And basically that kicks off the crux of the story, which is trying to get the Grinch back into society, inviting him down into Whoville, trying to get him re-assimilated and all things patched up. So I suppose you could say that's sort of the catalyst for the story. We're a bit of a ways in. Let's see, we're a third of the way through the story. I feel like that's a little bit late for a catalyst. I know that this really has a strong catalyst. Cindy Lou questioning Christmas is probably the catalyst. And then she goes on her investigative journey to try and learn more about him. And I guess it's the point of the story too, where the Grinch is set on a different path as well. I don't know that it really falls into a clear-cut catalyst category, but that's all right. It's a kid's story. It's a nursery rhyme, effectively, so. Secretly still loves Christmas.
Yes, this Christmas music.
Don't fight it. Just embrace it.
And triumphant.
It's joyful and triumphant.
Round them out.
Why do you have so many blenders? Oh, he collects trash, that's right. So then we see Cindy Lou bravely go up and confront the Grinch and invite him down to Whoville herself. Way to go, Cindy Lou. You have some guts. And the Grinch goes back and forth on whether or not he's actually going to go down and eventually decides to.
Put him in the chair. What's the chair? Huh? You didn't tell me about the chair.
Please, Mr. Grinch, please.
No, I can't do it, honestly. I'm not ready. It's too much too soon.
It's too much too soon.
The Cheermeisters ride in the chair of cheer.
So yeah, throughout this scene, we see that it's all just a little bit too much, like Cindy Lou said. It's very superfluous. It's unnecessary. Is this all really what we need to be doing? And as the Grinch says, it's too much too soon. How I think this scene plays into the story is that it's an obstacle for the Grinch to learn the lesson that he needs to learn, which is that Christmas is about more than just presents and gifts and superfluous celebrations, and the change he needs to go through and having his heart grow a couple of sizes. This is an obstacle to that because the Whos, although they're well-meaning, are bombarding him with Christmas chaos, and it's actually making him not want to be part of it even more. All right, we're gonna skip ahead.
I'm hurt and I don't hurt easily. But you and your family, I'm so disappointed. Can we just get back to Christmas the way it should be? Grinchless.
This is kind of the main obstacle that Cindy Lou faces, the Grinch faces, and even the town, because the town has to change throughout this story as well. So this obstacle is preventing all of that change from happening. Cindy Lou is going to get discouraged about her thinking that Christmas could be more than what it is. The town is going to be like, yeah, we shouldn't change tradition. We should keep things the way they are. And the Grinch is going to also be stuck in his ways as well because of this obstacle. So what I like about this story in terms of the writing is it's not only the main character who has to change throughout the story. Everyone in this story really has to change, except maybe Cindy Lou, because she gets it from start to finish. She's the one that's holding the premise. Everyone else has to get on board with it. Just something to keep in mind as you're writing your own stories. We're gonna do a little skippity-doo. The Grinch devises a plan to completely ruin Christmas for the Whos, thinking that by taking all of their presents and gifts and all of their food and all of their decorations that he will end Christmas for them. We get that nice interplay of the original text as well, which is fun.
Why, my sweet little dot.
The fake Santa Claus lied.
There's a light on this tree that won't light on one side. So I'm taking it home to my workshop, my dear.
Santa, what's Christmas really about?
Vengeance! Presents, I suppose.
Aww. How did you not notice that's the Grinch? Cindy Lou.
Don't forget the Grinch. I know he's mean and hairy and smelly. His hands might be cold and clammy. But I think he's actually kind of sweet.
Sweet!
And when Cindy Lou went up with her cup,
Nice kid.
he
Grinch! Wow, he's got a good arm. A couple of great things happen in that scene. One, we get more obstacles for Cindy Lou. She's trying to believe that there's more to Christmas than just presents and kerfuffle and chaos and decorating and all of that. So she finally gets the chance to ask Santa Claus himself, and she's thwarted because it's not actually Santa, it's the Grinch, which how she doesn't know that, I don't know, but it's fine. We'll suspend our disbelief. And then the Grinch, who's trying to be all mean and malicious, again, he hits a little bit of an obstacle when Cindy Lou is like, well, don't forget the Grinch because he's actually quite sweet. And we as readers and viewers want the Grinch, that to be his moment where he finally changes. And we're like, oh, this is it. It's gonna sink in. And then we get a reversal when he says, bad judge of character. Like, that's not gonna do it for me. Love it. We're gonna skip ahead a little bit. The Grinch thinks that he has won. He's destroyed Christmas because he's gotten rid of all of the material goods in Whoville.
It came without packages, boxes, or bags.
And he puzzled and puzzled till his puzzler was sore. Then the Grinch thought of something he hadn't before.
Maybe Christmas,
he thought,
doesn't come from a star. Maybe Christmas, perhaps, means a little bit more.
Sorry.
And what happened then? Well, in Whoville, they say that the Grinch's small heart grew 3 sizes that day.
It's creepy that it's... Okay. Oh. So there we get the warm, fuzzy ending to our story for the Grinch, where he comes to the realization that Christmas is about more than just gifts and store-bought goods. The town comes to the realization first, where they're like, okay, well, everything is gone, but we can still have Christmas. They all join hands and sing together, and that confirms Cindy Lou's belief in the premise of the story, and then it gets the town on board with the premise. And then by doing that, it shows the Grinch that the premise is true as well, and he's able to come to that conclusion on his own. And as a result, we see the after image of our before image, where before his heart was very small and he liked it that way, and now after we get the image that his heart has grown 3 sizes. It's fun to look at a Christmas story that's geared toward kids because you see that there's less depth in the character development. It's really just the Grinch very simply coming to the conclusion that Christmas is about more because he hears them singing. Like, he tries to take Christmas away from them and it doesn't work, and so suddenly he goes and does a 180 and becomes a completely different person. But it works because it's a kid's story and it's sweet and it's kind of like a fable. It doesn't have to be super deep. All right, well, that is how the Grinch stole Christmas. Oh, so cute. That version is so funny. It's always funny when you can tell they put in so many jokes for the parents, you know. So much of that was not in the original cartoon version or the book, so yeah. So we got to talk a little bit about setup, foreshadowing, the premise, and follow through of character development in this story. If you like videos like this, it definitely helps my channel if you can like and subscribe. But otherwise, thanks so much for watching. I will see you next time. Happy writing.